everyone listening, that means if your coach is telling you to do something, go do it. But like, how would you say, like, what would be the number one tip you'd say to get someone to follow through? Like when you're
Mm.
coming up with the
Mhm.
plan, you're like, okay, we're going to meet again next week, next month, however you do it. Bring me X.
All right, yeah. So that's where we get into the motivation part. So I
Yeah.
can't bring it. It's like lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. My farmer background, we had cows and horses, so
Yeah.
yeah. So in that space, when leading with leaders, one of the challenges that coaches make is when they actually do provide the solution. Because a coach has their own experiences if they worked it professionally at all, or if they led at all, and some do, some don't.
Yeah.
Some literally started right into coaching and have never been in sort of a leadership role. But the challenge when you have been in leadership for a number of years, and I got 32 years of sort of being in the leadership space, and so this is
Yeah.
kind of difficult for me, which I have to
Yeah.
constantly be internalizing and use my metacognition to reflect while I'm saying and giving questions, is that I can be the advice monster and say what I would do in the situation. And that's not helpful because they don't have my experience. They don't
Right.
have my skills. They don't
Right.
have my motivations. They don't have my knowledge. Like they're on their own journey
Have their own.
and questioning, or else they don't have the motivation or don't have the tools or the knowledge to actually execute on the plan. So that then coaching experience is not helpful. And I think that's when what can happen when there are coaches that aren't necessarily ICF sort of approach coaches and are more
Yes.
advising coaches and more mentoring, I would say, in that space. And they get frustrated because people aren't following through on their actions, but the people don't have and don't know what you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we assume as leaders, well,
Yeah.
everybody knows this. I've been doing it, like
Yeah.
this is just natural. Everybody,
Or of course, we talked about you doing it. Of course, you're going to do it.
you knew exactly what this was. They're clueless. And then you're thinking like, do we not have that conversation? What's going on here? So in that sort of communication piece, if it does get into an area where they want, and ideally you want people to have a goal and an action plan by the end of a
Yes.
coaching session, we're looking at the motivation. And one of the best questions I love bringing in that space is, what will you have when? So identifying the goal, what
Yeah.
will you have? And so looking at that outcome, and what will that give you in that space? What will that allow you to do?
Yeah.
What will that propel? What new opportunities will emerge once you've done that? How will that empower you in those spaces or ground you better in those spaces once you've accomplished that or have centered yourself in that? So as people begin to think through that, now we're pulling the intrinsic motivation in. And
Yes.
now they're excited to, I want that. And if they're not, if they go, yeah, I don't know, then you know for sure you're just
Get the
giving them a
buy-in.
directive.
Yeah,
We're not coaching anymore because we've lost their motivation
for
space.
sure. I will say, even hearing you say all these things, like you're very like you can tell like not only do you know what you're talking about, which is obvious, but you have a
Clueless.
great no, but you have a great like there's a great tone, a great vibe. Like it feels to me like people would very easily sit down and feel comfortable talking with you, right?
Thank you.
But you have the experience, but you don't like I think sometimes with coaches, like it's always I mean, you need the right fit, obviously.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at like the big picture, having your experience plus your education, I think it's nice that you're still, even with your experience, I like that you're saying like, but you're gonna get the answer
Mhm.
from your client
You got
because
it.
that's their tailored answer. And I that sounds really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And it's fascinating when they do get it. Because initially they come and they push and they're like, well, what do you think I should do? Exactly. What do you think I should tell you in that space? Or what would you tell a friend? What would you tell a peer that asked you the same question?
Yeah.
So letting them reflecting it back with an open question that
Yeah.
lets them enter into that space. And then how does that feel?